diabetes, how some of the solution that's going to help you. Think of it like this. If you have less sticky blood, it flows better. I'm just going to pour it. Oh, okay. So the honey is not done yet. Hurry up. So I finished pouring. Give me some more water now. See how slow it takes? I think this will be important to the men and women too. Good circulation helps with better relationship. So today we're going to talk about diabetes, how some of the solution that's going to help you, because there's a lot of people who have wound issues, circulation issue, and a lot of other condition that affects it. So why do you want to know about this? It's because it's going to affect your health, and also in the long run, it's going to help you to have more energy, more vitality. So let's go into diabetes, okay? Straight to the point. We're going to go into some of the facts that I have found with the CDC. So the Center of Disease Control, they said that at least 37 million people in the States have diabetes, and about 96 millions are pre-diabetic. Yeah, so that's quite a staggering number of people, and the amount is increasing. So according to the World Health Organizations, they have said that there's an increase in from 108 million to 422 million from 1980 till 2014. So that number has been 4 times, quadruple. That's a lot, right? And there's a lot of diabetes in the low income and also the middle income as well too. So we just want to touch on this and see why this is problematic. So diabetes, you can feel tired from it. You have low energy. It's costing a lot on the healthcare system, and it's costing not only that, people to have to buy, a lot of medications, those glucometer, a lot of times now people have, there are people who actually can afford it or have insurance, the sensor that's on their arm. So that's, instead of pricking their finger as much, they have a sensor now. And also there's more risk of people who have poor wound healing with diabetes. And of course, being in the healthcare field, I've seen that diabetes is associated with a lot of like heart disease, kidney problems, strokes, amputation. I don't want to scare you guys. Yeah. But let's go into what diabetes is. So there are 2 types of diabetes. So the first one is type 1. Type 1, what it is that the body, the pancreas, isn't able to produce the insulin. So it's one of those where your body isn't able to produce the insulin, where it breaks down the sugar as much. Okay. And why is insulin important? Insulin is important to help with controlling your sugar, being able to use that glucose as a form of energy, and also to be able to store that, to help facilitate the storage to make into either fats or proteins along the other path that's going to help with your body functioning. And so the type 2 diabetes, this is something that there's a lot of controllable factor. Actually, the controllable factors in both types of diabetes, but with this one, it's when our body has become resistant, and we don't even function as well, so to the insulin. Diabetes has caused a lot of problems. So one of the big thing is poor circulation, and I want to do a demonstration to you guys just to show, just to give you an idea of what diabetes is in a visual perspective, right? Because people can say, oh yeah, my sugar, all they want, but people don't really know it until how it works in our body, right? So think of I have in this container honey, right? And I have a bowl, just because I don't want to dirty my whole counter or my desk. And I have water, same amount of water as compared to the honey. And I have more water, okay? So let me just open this here. It's simple, but what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna think of it like this. Think of this as your bloodstream, and the more sugar you have in your body, the less it flows and the slower it flows. So think of it like this. If you have less sticky blood, it flows better, right? So I'm just gonna pour it. Oh, okay. So the honey is not done yet. Hurry up. So I finished pouring. Give me some more water now. See how slow it takes? for the honey to go. So think of it like this, your bloodstream, right? The more sugar you have in it, the slower it goes. And not only that, there's a risk of plaque buildups, right? You know how when you have too much, you know, when you go to the dentist, you have too much candy, yeah, you get plaques, but instead of plaques on your teeth, plaques in your arteries. And over time, that leads to
blockage,
heart attacks. Well, not temporary, but like not right away, but it's on that spectrum, right? And high blood pressure because there's more resistance. And the whole container of honey is not even done yet. And also there's risk of stroke. Okay, I think you get the point. The water is done a long time ago. And anyways, so that's
a demonstration.
Like this. Poor circulation is what's the cause of you being tired. And it could cause you to have high blood pressure because things are slower. There's more pressure that needs to push the blood to flow to circulate all the body and everything like that, right? So, and not only that, you know, because of poor circulation, wound healing, your kidney's going to get affected, the way things are produced, a lot of things going to be affected. So that's why I see a lot of times that people who have diabetes, they take months, years to have their foot ulcer or what kind of ulcer to be healed. Why? Because of what I just demonstrate to you, poor circulation. So I have here Blenda with me. She's awesome. She's a holistic nutritionist. And also not only that, she is a personal trainer. Give us some of the solution to help us reduce our risk of both type 1 and also type 2, but overall to help reduce, because we want to help prevent and also want to slow down the trajectory of the disease, right? So Blenda, what kind of tips do you think that people can do with diabetes?
Commonly with diabetes, poor diet is one of the main issues, like poor diet choices, excessive consumption of sugar and fat, and low intake of dietary fiber.
Yeah.
So there are some things that we can do to help with that. We could look at meal planning, eating healthier meals, weight management, and lifestyle changes. Meal planning, that's quite important, making sure you're eating 3 times a day, eating the proper food. So no excessive junk food, no excessive sugar or salt, oily foods that could cause lots of harm.
Yeah.
Weight management, exercise.
Yeah.
That's very important and also key.
Yeah.
Lifestyle changes. Are you smoking?
Yeah.
Are you sleeping enough? These are some things we can look at to help with prevention.
Yeah.
Or it onsets. That's one thing. With healthy food choices, you can look at lower glycemic foods. Lower glycemic foods really refer to foods that are released in like the sugar content of the food isn't released so quickly. So when you think of having sugar, when you think of having a candy, that sugar is released very quickly compared to something like a sweet potato that will be released a lot slower. So when you're looking at food groups, as a diabetic, I guess we're talking about not diabetic people, right? That's what
we're non-diabetic.
Yeah. So for people that are non-diabetic, you really want to look at like healthy fats, healthy proteins, and healthy carbohydrates. So fruits, vegetables, all good, lean proteins, and healthy fats. So avocados, nuts, amazing. Try to stay away from like anything too greasy, like oily foods, because I find a lot of times like oil, grease, the oil from the food is what's causing poor diet, right?
Yeah, I can agree with Blenda on that, because if you think about it too, like the oil is similar to the effect of the honey, right? When you do, like if you were to pour oil and comparing to pour like water, right? Which one is going to be thicker and which one's going to slower with the circulation. So the more fat you have in your diet, the more likely poor circulation or slower circulation,
Lower
more
circulation.
pressure. That's why people have high blood pressure with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what you really want to do is just kind of look at incorporating a lot more healthier foods into your diet.
Yeah.
I find a lot of fast food not so great for us, right? But it's convenience food. So over time, you can develop diabetes with poor diet.
Yeah.
So if you are educated and you know exactly what to eat, that's how we start reducing the risk of having diabetes.
So what would you consider as a good, let's say, a wholesome breakfast?
I'm a big fan of nut milk. So if you like almond milk, there's oat milk, nut milk, those items that I really like them. Now they have hemp milk or something. That's something new that I've never tried myself. But those are some things you could try. You could have that kind of milk instead of cow's milk.
Yeah.
Really high in fat cow's milk. You could also have oatmeal with banana, some sprinkle of some nuts. You could add some flaxseed on that if you like. I'm a big fan of oatmeal in the morning myself. Keeps me full for longer.
Yeah.
I think that's a hearty breakfast with some fruit on top.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can also make your own kind of pancakes. So like something like smashed banana, something really easy, no flour in it, just like smashed banana, add your nut milk, blend it up together, add some eggs, and then pan fry it. You can add some berries into it. That's really delicious. And kids could get into that too, and they would enjoy it. For kids, like you can add a little bit of bait, like chocolate chips, if they really have to have that. That's okay. I like to have a fruit for snack. But depends on you, right? But I think a banana is great for 10 a.m. snack, an apple, something really easy to grab and go. I like those items. If you have time, you could, slice some fruit, you could have some frozen fruit. That's cool too. And then at lunch, for me, I'm a big salad eater. So like something like quinoa salad, lots of protein there. You could add your vegetables, like you add some broccoli, some spinach. That's a great choice.
Yeah.
Nice spinach quinoa salad. That's really cool. And then at around 3 o'clock, a lot of people have that crash and they reach for that cup of coffee. So instead of going for that cup of coffee, have a double bag green tea. I'm a big fan of that. I've always talked about green tea for some reason. I'm a big fan of antioxidants. So green tea, amazing. And then you grab some nuts, some seeds. You can add a fruit in there if you wish. Some hummus and veggies. That's a good choice. And then dinner time, I really love sweet potatoes. I like rice too. So either sweet potato or rice for my carb. And then I add some kind of protein. Either fish, chicken, or beef, but usually it's fish for me. And then lots of green veg. Like we do a lot of like bok choy, spinach, and it's usually cooked veg. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I don't eat after dinner. So I don't know if you tend to snack, but for people that tend to snack, there's nothing wrong with having some fruit after dinner. But usually after dinner, you should be full and so like you should be full, right? And you wouldn't have to reach for any more food after dinner if you're having a good, nutritious dinner. So make sure you have that.
That's good.
Yeah.
So the foods you mentioned are really wholesome food. So what other tips do you have for like them to help with the diabetes?
If you have diabetes, make sure you're eating 3 times a day minimum, spacing out your meals, because a lot of people are like, I'm gonna go all morning, no breakfast, and then in the afternoon they're like so hungry, right?
Yeah.
Eat anything in sight. Making sure that you're packing a healthy snack.
Yeah.
Once again, like if you're on the road, instead of grabbing that to-go food, I find that we always do that. Another thing that we can do is add activity into our day, because once again, like what Jenny said, the circulation is quite important. So you really want to increase circulation. So adding activity such as a 5-minute walk, turn that 5 minute into 10 minutes, turn it into 15 and then half an hour. Very easy to do, especially when the weather is like nice outside. It's not snowing yet. Move a little bit more, right? That's what you need to do. So increased circulation will help with diabetes, and also lifestyle such as smoking. So if you're a smoker, if you drink alcohol as well, like those are some things you could slowly cut back on.
Alcohol has a lot of sugar, a lot of calories.
Yeah, lots of sugar, lots of calories.
Yeah, it's a high sugar, high calorie drink. And not only that, the liver is on overdrive when when you're drinking alcohol. So it's a lot more harder on your body.
And then the smoking, like slowly cut that down. I know smoking is something a lot of people have difficulty with cutting, especially with like marijuana smoking now, right? Being so accessible. So something like marijuana, just because it's like natural doesn't mean it's really good for you. So you gotta think twice about that before you start smoking either or nicotine or marijuana. Like you gotta think about that. So sleeping, right? Like if you're resting, you need your body to rest to regulate itself. So if you're not sleeping well, you need to add that into your lifestyle and make that change.
Yeah. So, you know, like during the whole COVID pandemic thing, I know I'm so over COVID, damn COVID, you know, like move on, right? But let me mention to you about in terms of how diabetes can cause more problems, because what I noticed is that people, a lot of times people who have like higher issue when they have the COVID is because they have all these risk factors, right? So diabetes is one of them. The virus, the cancer cell, the bacteria, these things, they tend to thrive on a sugary environment or a host. So let's say your sugar is on the higher side, you're more at risk because cancer cells will grow faster when it's in a sugary environment, right? Virus, they also thrive on the environment. So that's why sometimes the diabetes, not only with circulation is a problem. So if they have a wound and they wonder why it's taking such a long time for it to heal, one, because of circulation. Two, it's because the environment that they're in, they're becoming a host for these bacteria, this virus, that they're like, I'm not going to leave this. I'm going to be attached to this person because they're a perfect host for me to live for all these years, right? So that's one other thing I noticed, and it's important to know. So like that's pretty much it. That's
something like if you could just change a couple things in your life and know how to prevent it before it onsets, right? That's really important. That's what we're trying to achieve right now. We're trying to educate as much as we can.
And in terms of what I noticed is that because people are not aware of some of the effects, and, you know, for children, they enjoy the sugary drink because, you know, this pop, it tastes good, and or like the fatty food, it tastes good. And also not only that, parents buy because it's convenient, right? So, but in the long term, there has been so many studies that shown that, or even in terms of the incident of kids with diabetes, there's more children with diabetes than before. So it really depends on our diet, like what Glenda said. Like if they were to drink pop drink, that will increase the chance, especially if you drink over a long time. If you drink here and there, not a big deal. But if you consistently, let's say you have one every day, twice every day, you know, that adds up. And then you wonder, and then there's a lot of children that comes in, they're pre-diabetic, they're overweight, and that is a long-term health issue. It's not exactly the great idea.
I know. And you know what? Like, I think soda should even be like not allowed to be sold because it's so bad for you. Well, that's something I don't have it in the house, so
neither do I.
Out of sight, out of mind. So I don't
this
really
is a
drink
topic that is be honest, because it has to do with marketing.
And it has nothing to do with
and everything else. It's the cultural. But the thing is, I find that in terms of people don't understand, we're not as educated in terms of what is actually is a better choice or healthier for us. So in terms of simplicity's sake, so if you have an apple, eat the apple instead of eating the applesauce. Or if you have, like, let's say orange, eat the orange instead of drinking the orange juice, because the orange juice does not have the fiber content, which help with roughage bowel movements and keeping you regular, and overall better even for blood sugar regulation, because the orange juice content, the container is actually full of sugar, more sugar, right? So eat the orange instead of drinking the orange juice. If you're going to have pop drink and you really need it, cut it down to a lower one, or have other alternative, put some fruits, put some other, or smoothie, or a banana in it, because banana is natural sugar instead of the artificial sugar, which is like low nutrients. So
my kids love smoothies. Like they cannot go without one, like almost every day. It's like they need their smoothie every day. I think it's because it's tasty, right? Because it's got lots of fruits, so it's like nice sugary taste. But it's natural occurring sugars, right? So it's okay. Our really big thing right now lately has been like cherries, frozen cherries.
So instead of munching on to a candy bar, right, you can have cherries or frozen cherries. It's at least a better option, right? That's gonna help. Perfect. Oh, also exercising helps promote the effects of insulin more. So instead of being more resistant to it, exercising actually helps improve the function of the body to be able to respond to insulin compared to if we didn't. So it's just pretty much some of the things that, when you're moving around, when you, not only is it circulating with your body, but there's microscopic effect that's actually helping you, that or helping us, that we didn't even,
don't even know.
Many people don't know until they have been told that, hey, no, exercise actually, helps with reducing the resistance of our bodies responding to the insulin. It actually helps it even more, so that you can maximize on that insulin that's there. So
I know. So walk that extra block.
Yeah.
Dog, if you have to.
And
do an extra kilometer with Jenny.
I do a few K jog here and there. Do you have any other like tips or examples that you want to help or share?
Well, I really know that for me, high fiber food really keeps you full, right? So it lowers your blood glucose and your cholesterol levels at the same time. So it's like, really, you're not just dealing with one subject matter. You're not just dealing with, your blood glucose. You're dealing with the whole body, the whole system. Your whole body, right, benefits from eating well and moving more. So give it a try. I really think that's key.
Okay, that's great. What if people don't want to try?
You know what? That's why. Okay, so if you don't want to move anymore, you can hire a personal trainer, which a lot of people have done, because that's people are like, I don't want to move unless I have you, and I'm like, all right, okay, at least you have me now, but let's get you moving more. And then I have a client of mine. She started moving on her own more because I work out with her 2 times a week. And she added her own exercise on one day, and I'm like, now she's working out 3 days a week. So I'm giving her a high five on that one.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she just started doing it on her own, and I'm like so impressed.
So I think that's what it is. A lot of times that people just need to be a little bit educated. They just need a little bit of a tiny know-how and also like the motivation, just to kind of like, hey, you know what? There are benefits to this, and that will help you. And we're here to help teach some of these preventions techniques, so that you don't have to go through, like, can you imagine, you have, actually, no, let's not talk about amputation because that's diabetic related. Your finger, you have to have it amputated. Your leg, have to have it amputated. What fun is it to walk when you have one leg to walk rather than 2, right? So,
I remember working with a resident of mine. He was a senior, mid-senior. I mean, he wasn't really senior yet. He was like 60.
Yeah.
He had amputation, one leg because of his diabetes. And then I remember going away on a mat leave, and then he came back and had a second amputation. And when I came
Yeah.
back, he had
Yeah.
only his body, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's something I've seen in my working days in long-term care. And I worked with the senior population for like 16 years, 17 years. So I've seen a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah.
Oh, I think this will be important to the men and women too. Good circulation helps with better relationship, if you know what I mean. You know, the circulation, you need proper circulation for certain things to happen.
Oh, I
Anyways,
get
sorry
it.
to
Yeah,
go.
I know.
Yes.
For a good erection. Yeah. Yeah, I got it. I know, I get it. No, it took me a while. I was like, what are you talking about, Jenny?
Yeah, so good
For better
circulation
sex,
helps with
yeah.
it. Yeah, because we're not just making it up. It overall good circulation and what helps with a lot of things.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, so we want to share those tips, and I hope that this video helps you. I mean, we can provide more information and everything like that. Contact Glenda for healthier nutritional advice, and also if you need a personal trainer as well too, she's great for that. It's just something that we want to share because I noticed, like, working in the healthcare field, there are a lot of people who come in for the things that could have been prevented or could have been slowed down with the right action. And we rather see people who are healthier, happier, enjoying their life, as opposed to people who are just stuck in the bed, the hospital bed, and unable to, right? So I hope these things help you, and thank you so much. Subscribe to Blenda's channel, subscribe to my channel. Come back every Tuesday. We have videos and more tips on health topics for you. Okay?
All
See ya.
right. Bye.